How fast does a renter or a buyer have to act? What is the real cost when you first move in? There's a lot of misinformation on the internet. Is that upholdable in a court of law? Now, biggest rental challenge I have seen, renting a place with pets.
Some landlords want and demand 2 deposits, 2 security deposits, sometimes 3.
So just in our friend group, we've seen it all. Neurological fires, hidden cameras, landlords not paying utilities, people kicked out mid-contract, even deposits disappearing. You name it, it's probably happened to someone we know. And we're making this video today to help you avoid those things. This is our friend Klajdi, who is a real estate specialist, and he's here to answer all your real estate questions. Hi, Klajdi. Welcome to the channel.
Teri. Thank you so much.
So I want to start with, can you introduce yourself? Tell me what you do, who you work for, and how long you've been doing it.
Absolutely. My name is Klajdi Peci. I work as a realtor for Century 21. I've been doing this job for 4 years.
And do you enjoy it?
I love it.
And from my experience working with you, you seem to be a specialist in working with foreigners.
I can say that. Yeah, like in the beginning, it started like just a normal 1 or 2, 3 spontaneous options, but then it became like a wave. So I thought, okay, let me ride this wave. Let's go with the flow.
So in Albania, a lot of things work by word of mouth. And all of us that have worked with Klajdi have definitely spread the word because he has made moving here so much simpler and less stress, because moving to a foreign country can be stressful. Is there a best method for foreigners? I mean, we're kind of discussing Century 21 in specific. I know for us, the best method turned out to be using you because you made the process so much easier. Would you consider that the best method for most foreigners? Go directly to a realtor?
Yes, 1000%. No matter what, like not a single doubt about that.
And what are the biggest reasons for that?
Because the person is a professional, the person knows the market, the person has I would say a large portfolio of properties, which will probably 95% speed up the process because he already has that property. He or she is not going to look for other property, which will shorten the amount of time that he will deliver the results.
Okay. So how do you arrange a viewing with someone that is, let's say, like you did with us?
Yeah.
We were fresh in country.
First of all, I get to know if the people that want to rent a place are physically in Albania. And if they tell me yes, I tell them when is a good time for you guys to meet with me physically. When they say yes and they give me a time, we do that meeting. I get to understand exactly the request of their desire, what property they are looking for. And once I have that, once I find the property, I tell them, hey, you guys are free, or do you have available time at this day, at this date?
Mm-hmm.
If they tell me yes, I have already simultaneously, parallelly arranged the situation, the circumstances with the landlord in order to have the house ready or the apartment ready for the viewing.
So you really do take all the preliminary steps to make things as simple as possible.
1000%. I do my due diligence in the beginning, so I have an easy job later on in the steps.
And that makes sense because it makes it easier for those of us that are renting or buying as well.
Correct.
So when you find a place and you love that place and that's the one that you want, how fast does a renter or a buyer have to act?
You can give an answer right there, but most of the cases that I've encountered, people need like half a day or maybe a day to give you an answer to me.
Okay.
And the next day, it already happens.
Now, I know it's quite common here to very quickly lose an apartment if you don't make a decision quick enough.
Yes. A lot of foreigners, and I cannot blame them because every country has its own rules, but a lot of foreigners are used to the speed and to the pace of the real estate market of their own country. In Albania, it's pretty fast. It's really, really
It is
fast.
very fast.
Especially when we talk about rentals. Apartments can be listed and in a matter of 2 weeks, they disappear.
Right. So if a foreigner is coming from abroad, but they want to have a place to land like we did, how would you go about taking care of that?
Honestly speaking, that's not a route that I really, really prefer. But if it's a must, I have to do all the necessary steps. So the person has 95 and above % of all the information he needs to make a decision. And that decision is to reserve that property. So what I do, I give and I provide all the information about the apartment, all the information about the building, all the information about the neighborhood. I make videos, I make pictures, I send links of the location, and then I tell the person, this is what you have. If you want to make a decision, make it. If not, be here in Albania physically, and then we see the place, and then you make the decision. A lot of cases, they absolutely trust the information that I provide, and they decide. Some other cases, they want to be physically in Albania. And both options are normal, are natural, understandable.
I know our process was trust the realtor because since we drove here, we had pets, we needed to be in a place immediately. So we did. We trusted the process and it worked out really well. It was a beautiful house. It was a great location and it was absolutely everything we needed. Would I suggest that for most foreigners? No, I would suggest following your advice that you gave us then. These are the properties. Pick one when you get here.
Yes.
Is that still your advice? Because this is over a year later.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I mean, I can go above and beyond shooting videos and taking pictures and
Yes, you do.
every detail of the apartment. But in the end of the day, it might be something that, according to the taste, according to the desire of the person, when he comes and he sees that, there is a chance that the person says, oh, this is not exactly what I thought I want. So I'm going to bail out or I'm going to look for another property. That's why I have the tendency to actually suggest that please be here, look at it with your own eyes, touch, understand, investigate whatever you want to do with the apartment, and then make the decision.
Yeah, I think it was very late at night when we finally got in country and we did a walkthrough. We did exactly what was suggested. And he actually had a backup property ready in case I hated the house that we had chosen, which I did not. It was perfect in every way.
Hope for the best, prepare for the worst.
Absolutely. But working with you the way that we did from another country went so much smoother than someone trying to do it on their own. Because I gave you an exact list. You asked all the questions and you found everything I wanted.
That's me.
It was absolutely perfect. Now, on that, is negotiation typical with a landlord?
Yes.
And is that something that you do instead of the foreigner having to do it?
No, the foreigner just tells me, hey, I would desire or I would like this price to be, I don't know, €100 less or €50 less. And then he takes my arguments, my list of presenting my arguments to the landlord to tell him, hey, these are good people, these are good customers, they're going to be here. They're going to be here for a specific amount of time, which is worth it for you. So let's close an eye for €50. You're going to get a client that is going to be long lasting in your property. So it's a win-win situation for both.
Absolutely.
And that's what I want. I want a position where both parties can be with each other in a comfortable position for both of them.
And that leads us into what is the typical lease length here?
The lease length?
Mm-hmm.
I personally prefer to operate only with minimum 1 year rentals.
Okay.
And 1 year and above. Usually, most of the landlords, they don't prefer monthly or weekly because if they would do that, that means that they can absolutely use Airbnb or Booking.com for that. And they would make more money. But the majority, or not the majority, all of the landlords, they want this formula of minimum 1 year because they don't want to have the headache of constantly changing tenants. They want to have the peace of mind that for a year they have somebody in their house which is paying the rent regularly, and this gives them freedom because they just have an income peacefully, no hustle, no telenovelas, no stress, nothing.
Are short-term leases, especially with first-timers, is that common?
When you say short-term, meaning?
I mean 6 months or less.
No, very, very rare. And myself and most of my colleagues and also most of the landlords, they don't prefer that. They don't want that type of tenant to be monthly there.
And that's understandable. And I know that for us, from the tenant's point of view, we wanted the comfort and the security of that 1 year lease so that we knew for a year we had a place to come back to.
Correct.
What is the real cost when you first move in? Because some of it took me by surprise. And there's a lot of misinformation on the internet when foreigners try to research these things.
Yes, absolutely.
So what is the real deal on the cost?
Let's make a very easy example. Let's say a 1 year rental contract. And let's say a 1 year rental contract, which the rental agreement itself will be used for residency permit.
Correct.
If that is the scenario, especially if not for Americans, because Americans can be here 1 year visa free. And a lot of them, they use this 1 year to understand the country and then make a decision if they want to stay long.
Very true.
But other nationalities, other citizenship, They come here, and if they want to stay more than 3 months, they need to apply for residence.
Correct. And they need to do it quickly.
Yes, exactly. So the cost, let me start like this. 98% of all rental agreements for a year, they operate like this: 3 months upfront. And these 3 months are categorized in the first month, the last month, and one security deposit.
Okay.
Or it can be the first month, the second month, and one security deposit.
Okay.
Very rare cases when the furnishing is really, really expensive. Some landlords want and demand 2 deposits, 2 security deposits, sometimes 3, or sometimes 6 months upfront.
Okay.
Also, one detail that can make the same agreement with the landlords is the fact that if the tenant has pets, also this increases the risk.
Correct.
So from the point of view of the landlord, in order to have itself and its furniture, its property covered, they put 6 months up front, or they put 2 security deposit, or sometimes 3. And then if it's a building that is brand new, meaning not even brand new, the last 20 years, buildings that usually have an administrator and usually that have an elevator, there is the administration fee that at some cases can reach up to 20 or 25 bucks or euros.
Also, sometimes it's extra if they have parking as well.
Yes. The landlord can actually offer a parking place in return of a monthly fee that usually is between 30 to 60 euro per month per parking place. So I said the 3 months, and then there is the administration fee. And then if we make a notary contract in order to be notarized for the application purposes, then there is the cost of the notary. And in the case when landlord or tenant, one of them doesn't speak Albanian, the contract must be in 2 languages.
Correct.
Usually they are in English. So meaning it adds up also the cost of the translator.
Yes. So I know that in our case, the tenant was the one that pays half of the notary fees.
Yes.
Is that how it's done?
If we talk about the scenario with the notary, the expenses of the notary itself are divided between the landlord and the tenant. The translation, it's only of the tenant.
Correct.
Meaning the person that doesn't speak Albanian.
Yes. That would be us.
Exactly.
And the agency fees?
The agency fees. Okay.
Because we know you have to make a living.
Yes, of course. Yeah, actually.
Actually.
Minimum is 50% of a monthly rent.
Okay.
To give an easy number, let's say the rent is 500 euros per month. The agency fee is minimum 250. Now, this goes for 1 to 3 year, 0 to 3 year contracts. If it goes more, then it's 1 monthly rent. That is the agency fee. But also, if it's not also like up to more than 3 years, but there is difficulties, there is logistics, there is like the property is far, far away, or there is a lot of negotiation, the agent, without being too greedy, can actually put a different fee. Reasonable.
So the half is minimum.
That's the minimum.
Okay.
That is the minimum base, and an agent doesn't go lower than that.
Okay.
But depending on the difficulty of the property, let's say there is a request for someone that wants a property, I don't know, in Theth, up in the mountains. He wants that, So it takes a lot of logistics for the agent to make it possible.
Absolutely.
Go drive backward and forward, time, logistical difficulties, everything can count in order to make the agency fee go up a little bit.
Now, I know that not all agents do this, but when you came to meet us, you showed up and said, get in the car, we're going to go do this. So I know a big concern for a lot of foreigners coming here is, I came on an airplane, I don't have a car, how do I go look at these places?
I do that on my personal desire.
Okay.
It's not an obligation. It's not in my contract. I don't have to do that. It's not part of my job. I just do that because I have lived abroad myself. And I know what it means that even a very small help means a lot.
It does, yes.
Especially for people that have very little knowledge about Albania. And even though we are a very safe country, there is something that has happened because of movies and documentaries in the past. And a lot of people have a distorted perception of it. So me presenting myself physically, speaking normally and speaking fluently and speaking my mind and being direct, it's a kind of a method for me to lower a little bit the sense of, unsafe or
the fear level,
that, the skepticism.
Yes.
The fear level, like you say.
Yes.
That's why I do that.
And it meant a lot to me because we came with just the 2 of us and I was the one that dealt with you the most.
Yeah.
So I was concerned because let's be honest, I knew nothing about Albania when we chose to move here. And so dealing with a man in a foreign country it can be a little intimidating.
Absolutely.
And now we have many foreigners in town that have traveled as women on their own. So that kind of kindness and clarity really helps someone feel more comfortable, more at home right off the bat. And as we've all discovered, those first 48 hours are the most important.
Very important, crucial. And it's also, there is, in every human dynamics, every human interaction, there is psychology involved.
Absolutely.
Meaning people usually have a tendency to do business with people that they like,
yes.
with people that they feel comfortable with people that they can resonate in the same level of intellect. And I try to do that at the best of my abilities. And luckily it has given results.
Is the contract in Albanian? We talked about the translator. Now, from my understanding, having it translated into the foreigner's language is actually a requirement.
Yes, it is. Because the notary is the person that represents the law.
Mm-hmm.
And the notary must make sure that whatever is written in the contract, both parties must absolutely understand and agree before they sign. That's why it's extremely important. And notaries have two different methods. Notaries can make a translation that is written, or they can have a translator, licensed translator, that is licensed by the Ministry of Justice to serve this purpose. He can be in the same office during the signing process. He reads the contract from Albanian to the targeted language, vocally, audio, verbally to the person, and the person must ask question, or the person must confirm that he or she understands everything, and then the person signs. This is a must.
That is a great way of doing things.
It is extremely important.
I actually didn't know that having a translator physically in the office with you.
An option.
I didn't know that. That's really interesting.
Usually people go with the written translation because every party keeps a copy.
Right.
So it's much more comfortable to keep a copy in the language you understand.
Absolutely.
Rather than having a person that verbally speaks everything, articulates everything, and you just have to memorize it only once, which is impossible.
Yeah.
That's why people choose more often the option of a written translation.
That makes sense. And that's the notary. This is different for us because we use notaries different in the U.S.
I know.
So it's the notary that makes sure that everything is legal.
Yes.
And that you can then turn around and use that for your notarized contract.
Yes, but this is the scenario only when people or tenants apply for residency.
Correct.
If they don't apply for residency, even a contract that is generated by my office has legality, is known by the law, that is bulletproof, it's watertight, it is fully legal. Only for contracts that are from 0 months to 12 months. More than that, meaning more than a year, you need to use the notary.
Okay.
So my office or Century 21 is eligible or recognized by law only for contracts that are 1 year. Maximum 1 year. More than a year, you need to absolutely do that at the notary.
So a regular contract that's written by your office is legal, and it can be upheld in court if something horrible happens.
God forbid, but yes.
Okay.
Only, like I'm emphasizing this, only from 0 to 12 months.
Correct.
More than a year is the notary.
Okay. Now, I do know that several people have opted for a cash lease.
Yeah.
So that was what made me ask, is that upholdable in a court of law?
Yes, absolutely.
So even if you pay cash, your rent in cash
for a year
or 0 to 12 months.
Yes, only for that.
And you have a regular contract, you still have rights.
Yes, absolutely. 1,000%.
Perfect. Then we come to the tax, the 15% tax.
Please.
So you and your office are very upfront about the taxes. And you tend to use the terms net and gross.
Yes.
That, of course, was new to us because we don't do things that way. And from what I understand, a lot of countries don't. We also had dealt with private owners that did not tell you about those taxes.
Yeah.
So it's the owner's responsibility. Am I correct? That 15% tax is it on their income?
No, it's on the profit that they are making by renting out these properties.
Okay.
And if it's more than a year, it has to go with the gross amount.
Okay.
Now, some landlords, they leave these 15% to be paid by the tenant. And how they do that, they just put it in the price.
Okay.
Meaning, if the price would have been 500 euro, they don't tell you 500 euro, but they tell you the 500 euro plus 15%,
that 15%.
Whatever that amount is, which is like 575. So that person tells you, The monthly rent is 575.
Okay.
And then you go to the notary, and there is no discussion about 50% or not because it's already included in the price. And then the person, the landlord, pays it on its own.
Okay. And is it more common or better to pay in euro or lek?
No difference at all.
None?
I mean, it depends on the exchange rate and how it affects the person that is paying. But you can absolutely pay in lek, you can pay in a euro, whatever. There's no difference.
Okay. I know that some landlords have requested a specific currency.
There are, but it's not like a rule of thumb. It's not
Okay.
it's not like an absolute rule.
Okay. Does it benefit anyone to pay it in local currency versus euro? I mean, other than obviously it makes it so much easier.
The euro or the lek?
The lek.
Then I would say there's no difference at all. Like I don't see any beneficial if it's in euro or if it's only in lek. It just depends.
Are there common clauses that foreigners miss in contracts?
Their rights and responsibilities, usually. Also, who's going to pay for internet? Who's going to pay for the administration fee?
Yes.
Sometimes a lot of foreigners, they think that everything is included in the price. And it is the responsibility and the job of the realtor to absolutely make that clear. Some cases, very rare cases, the landlords includes everything: water, electricity, internet, maintenance fee, administration fee in the price. But most of the cases, they don't.
And we can, I guess, go into, so the administration fees, the water, the electricity, those are very typical costs that we as tenants would pay. However, sometimes it can be a challenge to pay them.
I know.
Sometimes there's a book that you take to a place. Sometimes it's becoming more and more common, I think, from what I've seen from our friends, for the landlord to actually pay them. And then they give you the receipt and you pay the landlord themselves.
Yes, you add it up at the rent.
Right.
This comes from a place of good person, like good desire, meaning the landlord or the realtor is trying to accommodate as much as possible the needs of the tenant. Some tenants really, 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 really are lost. So not to make things worse, the landlord or the realtor proposes and offers that, hey, don't worry about that. I can do that and I will give you the bills and you put it on the rent. But I personally, this is my opinion, I would love the tenants to do that on their own. And I explain them how to do that. Why? Because the more they engage with everyday life in this society, in this system, in this structure, in this infrastructure, the better it is for them.
Absolutely. I completely agree with that.
You don't want to be in a country and isolate yourself from everyday life.
No.
Especially when you have decided that you're going to be here a year.
Yes.
Which can go fast, but it's also a year. Meaning,
yes,
it's 365 days and you're not going to interact with the locals. You're never going to do anything. Like, how is that? Right?
It does happen. And it always makes us kind of sad to see when those things happen. Because a lot of people don't realize what they're missing out on.
Yes. Yeah.
This is an amazing country full of amazing people.
I know.
And they also don't realize how simple a tiny little thing like learning to pay your own water bill can open the door to so many experiences.
Absolutely. It can make you learn the language faster.
Yes.
It can make you understand the
culture.
The culture, the people, the mentality, the point of view about life. It can make you understand the city infrastructure better.
And let's be honest, integration into a new culture is the only way to truly enjoy your new home.
Amen to that.
So yes, go out, learn to pay your own bills because it gives you, I found it gave me a little feeling of control.
Yes.
And when you move to a foreign country, you feel very out of control. You feel kind of lost. And like we talked about those first 48 hours, for us, having you to help navigate those first 48 hours made all the difference. But it was, and a lot of people don't think about this, it was actually our realtor that taught us how to pay our bills.
There you go.
Now, biggest rental challenge I have seen, renting a place with pets.
Yes. Yeah. Especially when we talk about apartments.
Yes.
If it's a villa with a yard, with lots of space, no big deal.
Out in South.
Yeah, exactly. No big deal. I've explained this a lot of time actually, because I don't want foreigners to have this idea that we have something against animals or we hate them and this and that. It's not a matter of that.
It's not.
It's just, for centuries the animal has served a purpose, which was to protect, guard, notify when there is danger. And the animal always, apart from cats, those are very privileged creatures.
Yes, they are.
Dogs have always been outside.
Yes.
So now with the times that are changing and more foreigners are coming, and also the society, Albanian society also itself is changing.
It is.
Pets are more usual, more common inside apartments. But still there is a reluctancy from the part of the landlords, because
Which is understandable.
especially for the landlords that have specifically rented out the place as a form of investment, meaning buy an apartment, furnish it, and then rent it out.
Correct.
Now, this furniture is an investment. And usually animals have instincts, they have impulses, and they scratch, they damage all
Absolutely.
this.
Yes.
So the landlord sees this as a risk to his investment. That's why they are a little bit reluctant towards animals, even though a lot of foreigners are very, very good pet owners, meaning they discipline, they absolutely train
Yes.
the animal to behave.
But it is, at the end of the day, still an animal.
So
yes.
there you go.
Now, I know that for thousands of years here, any kind of pet inside the home was seen as unsanitary and unnecessary.
Yeah.
Because its job was outside.
Yes, exactly.
So you hear a lot of foreigners talk about street dogs. And I'm using air quotes because a lot of these street dogs that they're calling street dogs actually belong to someone, because they bought a
Not
pet
all,
to do a job.
Yes, a lot of them, yes, meaning...
Oh, I'm not saying we don't have street dogs.
No,
we know we do.
We do have, but
yes.
You're right also with that approach, because a lot of people have private houses and a lot of them, they leave the gates open.
Yes.
And the animal is free to roam.
Yes.
Let's say he gets some socializing dynamics with other dogs, buddies, blah, 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 hangs out, and then returns home.
Yes.
So there is also this category of dogs.
Which we have seen, especially in that original neighborhood, that these pets were people's pets. They were their guard dogs. They were their alert, their alarm system.
Yeah.
But during the day, and you would hear our Albanian neighbors say, we don't believe in keeping them caged up. An animal is an animal and it's meant to be running around. So that's why we leave the gate open. That's why they are out running around. And so many people don't understand that part of the culture. And it's another thing that you need to learn to integrate. You need to learn, listen to your neighbors.
There is a fine line when you move into a new country. There's a fine line on doing things as you are taught, understanding things why they are happening in this country, trying to adapt and trying to change them, simultaneously integrating. This is not an easy process.
No.
It shouldn't be forced. It should come with maturity. It should come with wisdom. It should come with an approach of taking things lightly and a little bit step by step.
Avash.
I don't like that. The gadal, it's a better Albanian language because that is Turkish word. But a lot of people, when I read comments on groups, you see the tendency of a lot of foreigners that have animals that they absolutely want to transfer and transplant whatever views that they have into the Albanian society.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong. Every society needs advice, suggestions, new ideas.
Of course, but it's not your culture.
Also that, but it needs time.
Yes.
You cannot expect results like this. You landed in Albania and now everything should accommodate your point of view about the world. It doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't.
It shouldn't.
Also, I've never understood that point of view, because you left a place. Also so why do you want to bring that with you?
Exactly.
And now you are moving someplace that you know nothing about. You don't know anything about the people or the culture or the amazing history of this country.
Correct.
Maybe learn first.
Correct.
That is always the first thing I tell new people, is the very first concept of Albania is have an open mind.
Yes, absolutely.
Close your mouth, open your ears, and learn a little.
Don't get me wrong. I absolutely appreciate foreigners coming here and bringing their mind, bringing their IQ, bringing their whatever troubleshooting skills that they have, whatever approach about life. But it has to be in a way that it doesn't collide with the present culture.
We've been referring to that as culture bombing.
Yes. If you want to improve it, be my guest. You are more than welcome. People have ears to listen.
Yes.
But you cannot force it.
No.
Because it's going to cause the complete opposite result.
Yes. And that's how you end up ostracized.
Yes. Ostracized. You're going to be marginalized. You're going to be isolated, ignored. Yes. And then you're going to start to create enemies, imaginary enemies in your head.
Yes.
And that is a slippery slope.
It is. It is. And that is all detrimental to integration of any kind.
1,000%. And in the end, the person is going to leave. Oh, I hate Albania. Going to write a Facebook post. Okay.
So we kind of touched on parking challenges. What do you think the top 3 mistakes foreigners make are?
That's why I have it like a foundation of my job. Transparency, honesty, integrity.
What are a couple other red flags?
I would say
Be careful with your power consumption because your house might not be set up for it. We have discovered on our journey together a landlord's term of renovated can mean many, many different things.
yes.